Honestly, rock hard, that's how we want it. You know, we want these semifinal matches to go the distance. They've got the lineup to be able to do it. I feel like there was some good adjustments here for Aurora. One being the fact that, you know, they went with their own pickoff potential that could potentially snowball them into the right direction. Demon Kite really struggled in the previous game on the Lancelot. Now this time he's up against a utility jungler. We do still see that occasionally, right? Assassin versus utility. And sometimes the assassin gets the upper hand. Sometimes it's the utility, based around this kind of holistic composition that ONIC brought. So we'll see if Aurora can actually make some early advantage by potentially getting a first blood.
That's true, because it is going to be double marksman basically versus double fighter, right? So this is something that is going to be, you know, I don't know, maybe meta shift creating, depending on how well either one performs. So we'll see maybe if, you know, double fighter actually is the way to go, right? Or maybe we'll see if, you know, having a Granger and a Kimmy on your lineup actually makes it so difficult for these double fighters to perform. So those are things I'm actually looking forward to in this matchup. But you're absolutely right. Like, so much is just up in the air for this game. And again, Aurora Gaming has that little bit of an early advantage, maybe, but it's not much.
Yeah, not much to deal with. Part of it, though, is like this lineup, you know, for the most part, yes, it's Edward on the Lapu Lapu again. It's a Demon Kite on the Lancelot. Even if they run it back for some of these heroes, it's more so just getting that upper hand. You have to give it up to ONIC in the last game. They were just really good at the team fighting, really good at finding the right moments to avoid that setup potential, even from Edward on the Lapu Lapu. We always know that when the Lapu Lapu is secured for a team, not only does he do a lot of damage, he can tank up quite a bit, but the stuns with the Landshaker are so good, just like this.
Yeah, great stuns. And there you go, Kyrie with the first turtle of the game. Edward and Light not going to be able to help out Demon Kite as much. Look at the presence. Look at the domination of ONIC in that one.
Yeah, there's they're going to deal with that. I mean, that's one of the things they have to be careful for. Some of these initiations, especially in the early portion of the game, you got to kind of approach them in the right way. And even more so in the turtle pits, you know, like those areas are crucial to be fighting in. Now, this map being potentially the last map, if ONIC wins with it, expanding rivers, either way, when it comes down to these objectives, either team can choose to rotate really quickly. The fact that Dominkite is on a CC gold lane as well could change some of those later team fights, whereas, you know, Skylar essentially can do the same thing. It's only unfortunate for Skylar that he doesn't have the space that was provided with an Eve, like in game one, but because of the lineup, it's actually okay. You have a Kalea, you have the traction pulse from Sans, and that actually is enough to go ahead and keep him relatively safe. Plus, like I said, the flicker is always an option as well.
I think maybe they're thinking, you know what, we don't need like an Eve real world if we're gonna -1 anyway, right? Like there's just gonna be 4 enemies on the opponent on the map. So that's their thinking maybe of the Kalea. But look at that, Lutpi again is gonna be the sore spot here. Aurora Gaming is gonna try to punch on. Or, you know, but of course that isn't Esmeralda. Early game has great sustainability, and who has not that much sustainability, that's Dominkite, especially against 4 members of ONIC.
See, that's a tough thing. You know, these lineups nearly mirror each other with the game plan. It's that pick-off centric lineup. Let's get a kill, utilizing either the Cho for Aurora or the Kalea here for ONIC. And they get the upper hand because they made the play up top, almost getting this tier 1 too. Traction pulse thrown out.
Oh, a few more hits would have actually been huge for Sans there, but Uweg is able to dodge out. Again, Edward going to be using the Bravest Fighter and the Flicker to get out of harm's way, which just leaves the map wide open for ONIC to take that turtle.
Man, Rockhart, it just seems like right now it's either Aurora Gaming Philippines is just not synced up like we've seen them in the previous matches, or it's just ONIC playing so well. It's probably a combination of both. ONIC seems to be just completely locked in on the game plan on what they want to do here. And again, if they're able to go ahead and put pressure where Aurora can't play around that plan of a pick-off, because the Tsunami Slam is going to go first.
Oh man, there you go. That's Tsunami Slam once more. At that point, Dominkite can't even use the Phantom Execution to get out of harm's way. And because of that, this is going to be another turret. That's going to be, turret rather. That's going to be so hard to defend against. Now, of course, there has to be something to give for Aurora. Skylar, maybe absorbing some of Dominkite's hits, buying some time for Kyrie to get back into the fight here alongside Kiboy. That aggression of this duo, this Kalea and this Baksha, so nasty.
Kiboy is so locked into the series. There's the kick though.
Right, nice kick from Light. Obviously gonna get some kills back, and that is Hans. So Sans going down is gonna be so massive here for Aurora Gaming, and slowing down that Kimmy. That Kimmy felt like it was actually starting to like steamroller them, man.
Yeah, it's a problem they have to deal with, but nonetheless, right now ONIC is just winning off Kiboy's Kalea. For the most part, it's all been the Tsunami Slam, so now Light's got to go ahead and fill that in. He's done as well. He's got actually a couple kills on this, but it's more so the way they're moving around the map. There's got to be an answer for this, especially as they set up around this next turtle coming up in a couple seconds here. You're seeing it. Demonkite's going to get spotted out. He's actually having a difficult time this game, just like in game one. Really getting pressured on his jungle, potentially to try to force him to use a retribution on the purple buff, so he doesn't have it for the turtle, but still he'll be able to secure this just fine. ONIC waits in positioning. Again, same thing. Lootby giving information, Kiboy waiting for that Tsunami Slam. So we'll see how Aurora approaches this. This 3,000 gold difference might play a part into this fight, but turtle secured.
Yeah, huge, tricky turtle there, getting secured there by ONIC. There goes that team fight. Light, not going to be long for that world. Cannot really sustain Skylar's Ranger right now, who is just doing insane amounts of damage, even on Edward. That's a double kill for the gold laner of ONIC. And not to mention, they also got that turtle. Demonkite now going to be struggling to even get the jungle camps on his side.
Let's see if he gets this orange. He should be able to retreat. Oh, he doesn't get it. Unfortunately, yeah, he doesn't get it, and it's looking even more grim now for Aurora Gaming Philippines here. The way this game is going, 3 turtles now in the hands of ONIC, 5,000 up in terms of gold. They have a clear shot at taking the first Lord as well, unless somehow, some way, Aurora finds a way to crawl back into this game. But look at the pressure from ONIC. They won't let up on this. And it's a stark difference, at least for the Esmeralda this time, when you see the Esmeralda struggle, but when you see it shine like this and you're able to go ahead, you're deathless, you provide information, a Tsunami Slam again.
Oh man, that's a huge Tsunami Slam here, of course. Yue going to be able to at least answer with the Feather Airstrike. That front line is starting to demolish and diminish on its health. That's Kiboy going down though. Demonkite are doing some really good mechanics, but the rest of ONIC are still inside the front lines. They're not really going back quite yet, but it is going to be -1. Kiboy's aggression removed from the map might leave an opening for Aurora to make something happen here.
That pickoff is great. At least they get a kill. It was a fight that was started off the Tsunami Slam. One of the first steps that Aurora needs to get back into the game. But even looking at the itemization here, there's quite a bit of difference, right? Even the gold lane right now, obviously the CC is going to scale up a lot slower than this Granger given the way the game's gone. But, you Sky Pierce from Malefic Aurora Hunter Strike already. That's why Skylar's popping off on the damage. He's got the 4 kills. If he continues to stack up the Sky Piercer, it's going to be devastating in these later fights. And so for Aurora, as this Lord is up, they have to make a decision. Do we actually contest this? This is one of the difficult things, too, in that matchup of Assassin versus Utility, right? The Baksha, obviously tankier. You rely on the rest of your team to kind of, again, give you that information. You can always pull off a steal, though. That's one of the things about the Assassins, right? Especially the Lancelot. There's always potential for that. So even with ONIC's lead, they'll respect it and just kind of take their time with this. There's no rush for them. But Aurora, they're the ones with a hard decision. Do we actually go for this? It's blitz down now.
Yeah, that's a huge blitz. Obviously, ONIC is just going to be so far ahead of the curve here. Lapu-Lapu up on front. Edward can't really sustain against that lineup. Now, normally, you would be able to at least get some HP back, but ONIC just stopping that from happening. Obviously, with their superiority in terms of items. So, right now it's just Aurora getting pushed back over and over again. I mean, like, the only thing I was thinking about for ONIC is at least both Kyrie and Demon Kite were level 12 while that Lord was happening. But now that's not going to be the case here. We got Lord walking up on top, and I expect ONIC to wait for this fully 100%, wait for it before they fight.
I'm surprised here, Rockhart, that Aurora decided to go ahead and stay around there, because it just seemed like, and maybe it was potentially they just didn't have the information, but seemed disconnected even in that approach to that Lord, or deciding on what they wanted to do. They're going to go for this kick.
Oh, yeah, 100% gonna go for it. Better stun here coming in from Edward, but again, once more, just evaporating forth. He can even hit the final blow of that one. And now Kyrie's up on front. Skyler is just going on like a shooting range here or something, because he's just having so much fun on that Granger. Again, there is a Lord on top side. Edwards and Light are down for 15 seconds. That might be a turret or two going down for ONIC here. Sorry, for Aurora here.
So far, massive game for Skyler on this Granger. 7-0-1, untouchable. Stacks on stacks right now for the Skypiercer 2. This Lord will finally go down, but ONIC's job is just to get these base turrets down of Aurora. We'll see if they're able to get another one, but right now with a massive lead, 10,000 ahead, do they force a fight or just take the discipline route? It looks like they'll go ahead and do just that. Potentially getting the mid turret. The traction pulse is thrown out.
Yep. There you go. One more time. They're going to try to go for it. Again, Aurora being very proactive here on the front line, though. They're absorbing Sun's and Skyler's damage, and it's just too much. There's just so much damage here without anything to actually catch it on the front line. And there you go. That's two inhibitor turrets going down for Aurora Gaming here. Again, holding on for dear life.
They've been choked out from the resources here, basically here, Rockhart. Now they're going to make a play here in the mid, going for this last base turret. They'll get just that. But with Dominkite coming back up, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and get back here. Lutby has been a nuisance this whole time. He has been the scout for ONIC, giving all the information that they need on how they approach these fights. Again, this is what Esmeralda does so well. And, you know, in this case, I don't know, Rockhart, it just seems like the lineup, the composition for Aurora just isn't serving that purpose that they wanted to. Even so, you know, Dominkite picks up a brute force. You're seeing how fast they're getting just taken down. I mean, these team fights, if it's a pick-off, it's a pick-off for ONIC, essentially. At what point does Aurora Gaming get back into a fighting form? They're going to have to forfeit this Lord over to ONIC and then just get ready for this defense. Now, the only shining hope in this lineup that they have right now is the defense capability, because you've got a Farsa. But as soon as you use that Feather Airstrike to kind of deal with some of that push, and of course the Lancelot to an extent, then other than that, you don't have that much else, right? You've kind of got to utilize the kits, and that's for Edward and to an extent Light and Dominkite to clear out these waves and manage them. But it's so difficult once the Feathered Airstrike is gone. So this is so crucial for UA to really get the most value out of this, and that's why they're trying to manage these waves. The Lord is making its way in the base, and the traction pulse thrown out.
Yeah, throwing it out there, and there's just not much the front line here. Gonna go in for the back line. Light is hunting down Skyler, but with that Purify will not be able to actually make a mark. Just a few more hits. That might be it. ONIC are gonna be the ones on top here, and gonna be beating